All right, let's start with a confession. The kitchen is full of lies. Not the little white lies like I will only eat one cookie, but big, centuries-old myths passed down from grandma, TikTok chefs, and even glossy cookbooks. The kind of myths that sound right because you've heard them so many times, but when you actually dig deeper, you realize they're about as true as a unicorn riding a skateboard. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the 10 most common culinary myths and not just exposing them, but having a little fun with the way we talk about them. This isn't some boring science lecture. This is the real deal. Let's bust it wide open kitchen storytelling session. So grab a spatula, maybe a snack, and let's dive in. Myth number 1, searing meat locks in the juices. You've heard it. I've heard it. Chefs on TV have yelled it at the top of their lungs. The idea is simple. If you slap a steak on a screaming hot pan, it'll seal like a vault and trap all those delicious juices inside. Sounds logical, right? But nope. Science says otherwise. What searing really does is create flavor through caramelization, the Maillard reaction, if you want to sound smart at dinner parties. It's about building that crusty, savory outside layer that makes your steak taste incredible. But juices, they're still gonna flow. You want juicy steak? That's about temperature control and resting the meat after cooking, not some mythical juice sealing technique. Myth number 2. Rinse your pasta after boiling. I know some of you are gasping, but my aunt always said the truth is, unless you're making a cold pasta salad, rinsing pasta is a terrible idea. Why? Because when you rinse it, you wash away the starchy coating that helps sauce cling like a hug. Without it, your sauce slides right off like oil on Teflon. That starchy goodness is free flavor glue, and you just send it down the drain. So next time, skip the rinse, toss your pasta straight into the sauce, and watch the magic happen. Myth number 3, alcohol burns off completely when cooked. Yes, the old don't worry, the booze is gone reassurance. Hate to break it to you, but even if you simmer that wine reduction for hours, traces of alcohol stick around. Does it all vanish? Nope. Does it reduce significantly? Yes. But if you are cooking for kids, people avoiding alcohol, or your boss who insists he's allergic, don't assume that flambe equals sober safe. The key is moderation and transparency. Besides, it's the flavor of the wine or beer you're after, not the buzz. Myth number 4, microwaves cook food from the inside out. This one makes me laugh every time. People imagine microwaves zapping food into steaming perfection from the core outward, like some kind of culinary superpower. The truth? Microwaves excite water molecules near the surface first. That heat then travels inward, which is why your lasagna is lava on the outside and ice cube in the middle. The microwave is a tool, not a miracle. And if you want even heating, stir, cover, rotate, science, baby. Myth number 5, adding oil to pasta water prevents sticking. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Oil floats, pasta sinks. The oil and pasta rarely meet. What actually prevents sticking is stirring, especially in the first 2 minutes when pasta releases the most starch. If you're worried about clumping, stir it like you mean it and save the oil for after when it actually coats the pasta and adds flavor. So far, we've already shattered some beloved beliefs. And I know some of you might be thinking, wait, so my grandma lied? No, she didn't lie. She just passed along what she was told. And let's be honest, grandma also thought margarine was healthier than butter. It's not her fault. The kitchen is a breeding ground for myths because it's a mix of science, tradition, and storytelling. Myth number 6, salt makes water boil faster. Every new cook has heard this one. You sprinkle salt into your pot of water and supposedly it's supposed to make things go faster. The reality, salt actually raises the boiling point of water, which means if anything, it takes longer to boil. Now, before you go dumping salt-free water into your pasta pot forever, hold up, because adding salt does have a purpose. It seasons the pasta from the inside out. That's why Italian chefs swear by it. Unsalted pasta water, bland noodles, salted pasta water, flavor packed from the start. So add the salt, but not because it's some turbo boiling hack. Do it because you want good food. Myth number 7, brown eggs are healthier than white eggs. This one is pure marketing genius. Somewhere along the way, brown eggs got branded as the organic, natural, rustic option, while white eggs were treated like their boring cousins. The truth? Eggshell color depends on the breed of the chicken. Nutritionally, they're identical. Brown eggs are not healthier, they are just often more expensive because the chickens that lay them eat more feed. So buy whichever eggs make your omelet dreams come true. Myth number 8. You can't cook with olive oil on high heat. This one's tricky. Yes, extra virgin olive oil has a lower smoke point than, say, canola oil. But that doesn't mean it bursts into flames the second it touches a hot pan. Olive oil can handle medium-high heat just fine. What you don't want is to blast it on full power until your kitchen looks like a smokehouse. Use common sense. For deep frying, maybe stick to something else. But for sautéing veggies, searing chicken, or even roasting, olive oil works beautifully, and it tastes better too. Myth number 9. Raw carrots are more nutritious than cooked carrots. People love to think raw equals better, but in the case of carrots, cooking actually boosts their antioxidant levels, specifically beta carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A. Sure, raw carrots are crunchy and refreshing, but roasted or steamed carrots give your body even more nutritional bang for your buck. So go ahead. Roast those carrots in olive oil and salt. Science approves. Myth number 10, only fresh herbs have flavor. Here's the truth bomb. Dried herbs are not the enemy. In fact, for some dishes, they're better. Dried oregano in pasta sauce? Yes, please. Dried rosemary and roasted potatoes? Perfection. The key is knowing when to use them. Dried herbs need time to bloom, so add them early in cooking. Fresh herbs, on the other hand, shine when sprinkled at the end for brightness. Both have their place. Don't let anyone tell you dried herbs are cheating. They're culinary superheroes in disguise. Now that we've busted the Big 10, let's zoom out for a second. Why do these myths exist in the first place? Well, partly because cooking is one big game of telephone. One generation learns something, passes it on, and suddenly it becomes gospel truth. Add in marketing, cultural habits, and a dash of laziness, and you've got myths that last for centuries. But here's the fun part. Busting myths doesn't ruin the magic of cooking. It enhances it. Knowing the truth sets you free to experiment, to cook smarter, and to stop wasting time on rules that don't actually matter. Think about it. When you stop rinsing pasta, your sauce finally clings like a dream. When you understand olive oil, you stop fearing smoke and start cooking boldly. When you know searing is about flavor, not juice locking, you stop obsessing over crusts and focus on temperature. That's the joy of myth busting. It gives you the keys to the kingdom. And while we are here, let's bust a couple of bonus myths for fun. Myth: wooden cutting boards are unsafe. Actually, wood has natural antimicrobial properties. With proper cleaning, wood is just as safe, sometimes safer than plastic. Myth: cast iron is impossible to clean. Nope. You don't need to treat it like a fragile relic. Just don't soak it forever, avoid soap overload, and keep it seasoned. It's tougher than it looks. Myth: you need expensive knives to cook well. Sharpness matters more than price. A $30 sharp knife beats a $300 dull one every day. See, myths are everywhere. And the more you cook, the more you'll spot them. Some are harmless quirks, but others can genuinely hold you back in the kitchen. So the next time someone tells you don't salt your water until it boils, or you'll ruin the pot, or brown eggs will make you stronger, or microwaves give food radiation poisoning. Yes, people still say that. When you can smile, nod politely, and then go cook like the myth-busting legend you are. At the end of the day, food should be fun. Myths make it mysterious, but truth makes it powerful. Cooking isn't about rules set in stone. It is about curiosity, creativity, and a willingness to learn. So keep asking questions, keep experimenting, and never stop myth busting, because the only real myth worth believing is this: good food brings people together. And that one's 100% true.